Hi, this is Carla Cruz, and this is my CIT260 team project presentation. So I'm going to start with the function development process. The first two steps are to clearly define the problem and to create a test matrix. So in this case, in my game, we needed to create a function to build the ship and calculate the building time, since the times measure and every tool has a different building time capacity, like the axe, the hammer, and the saw. We created three different formulas with three different test matrices for each one for each one. Um, so this is just the one to calculate the axe time. Once that you have created your test matrix, you need to create the algorithm, which is the solution for your problem. In this case, you can see that I've included the validation rules, so I won't forget them when it's the time for write a code. And the algorithm works like this. Calculate X time. It has two different variables, X time and times use, and it will return a number. It begins if X times less than 1 or X times higher than 2, then return 0. And if time use less than 1 or times use higher than 15, then return 0. Calculate partial time will be X time times the times use. Once that you have created the algorithm, you need to test it to make sure that it works, and then translate it into Java code. In this image, you can see my calculate X time formula with the two variables and the um, if statements that it has to run. Once that you have created your code, you need to test it. You do this by creating test packages in the NetBeans and then creating all of the test cases. In this image, you can see that my all of the other formulas and that the test, the formula passed the test, all of them. Um, the final step is to deploy the code. Only after making sure that the code was working properly and that all the changes were committed to the repository and pushed to the GitHub. In this image, you can see how the changes appear in the GitHub website. So now I'm going to talk about selection statements. And this is the example, a switch statement that I use in my program. This type of a statement is used when you want to check if the value of an expression is equal to one of the items in a list of valid values. So all of these are valid values, but only one of them will be executed when the proper code is entered by the user. So now I'm going to talk about the lifespan and the scope of variables. First, within a selection statement, you can see that the lifespan of the menu option variable ends when the execution of the function is completed and a valid value has been entered by the user. So once this the control runs all of this, that's it for that's when the lifespan ends for this menu option variable. Now, within the class, in this main menu view class, the lifespan of this private string menu variable, well, this variable can be used at any time within this class, and it can be called by any other function within the same class. Now, the lifespan of a variable in a function, in this case the character damage variable, can only be used within this character control function. Once that this function has been executed, we cannot use this variable or call this variable from any other function. Now, I'm going to explain the difference between passing variables by value and passing the variables by reference. Passing the variables by value, it means that a copy of the actual variable, of the actual value, is passed. On the other side, by reference, it means that only the address where the information is allocated, but not the actual data. For example, in the following person demo class, we can see that the variable person1 has been passed by reference. In the output, we can see the output is name Mary H30, even though in the class the person1 was declared as Peter 33. The reason why the output is different is because this variable was passed by reference, meaning that only the address of person1 was passed, not the actual information, not the actual data like Peter 30 or any other information that could have been entered. And well, that will be it. Thank you.